This is a video on how to install your new switch if you're getting the photoelectric switch, which is a magnetic switch, into your LPL600. So first thing we want to do is take out all these screws and then detach this cover here, this back cover right here, so that it's easily moved. Then this should just lift right off. Might have a couple little catches in it, so that, or if I don't get the screws all the way out right. So the cover should just lift right off like that. And then we'll just set that off to the side and leave the screws right in it. So pull your switch out. What we have to do is we have to remove all these connections so that we can rewire it. So what we're going to do is take our wire cutters. We're just going to cut off all these connectors, both sides. Then we need to strip the wires. So, and I'm stripping, about 3/8 of an inch or so. You have to be able to twist them. So, that's probably good enough right there. Oops. Don't worry if your magnet comes out. It doesn't have to be glued in. They're glued just so they're not rattling around. So it's kind of like a bushing. It's not that it needed to be held in with glue. So, so there's those two, and then we're going to strip these battery wires. Oop. Like so. Now, your new switch, which will look like this. Your new switch will have 3 wires. So it's going to have a brown, a blue, and a black. So the brown goes with the red. So we take the brown and this red off your battery connector, and we twist those two together, like so. We take the red from the light, and we twist that with the other red and brown. We're going to twist those two together. And then you should have 3 butt splice connectors. So what we're doing is we're going to just put the butt splice. We don't do the wires in from both sides. We just use it as kind of a cap. So you're going to put it on there, and then we're going to crimp it. Like so. So we want to use a crimp like that. Crimp it on there. That should be good. And then the blue wire, which is the negative, will go to the negative on the battery terminal. So blue to the black on the battery terminal. And we just twist those two together, like so. We put our butt splice over top of it. Oops. Probably a little long. I'm actually going to trim it off just a little bit. So put that in there. And we're going to crimp that one on. Like that. And then we put the black wire that's coming out of the gray wire, right? We put the black with the white. So we're going to twist those together, like so. and then we're going to crimp that. All right. So the key here is to make sure there's no bare wires sticking out the bottoms of these, right? So we're looking pretty good there. When you're done, the way to put this back together is that we lay the battery wire in the bottom, like this, and then we put the gray wire on top of it to hold it in. And this is going to be hard, but you're going to have to, so just push down on it really hard. And it'll displace the cover a little bit. So we just push that over so that it looks like this. And then lay the wires in there so they don't get pinched. And then you can leave this hang out the bottom because this cover here, you left it loose. And then we just lay this back over top. Make sure that the magnets, go into the pockets. And then we'll put the screws back in. Oop. And then there's one last thing to do. You have to take your old switch out of the bracket, like this. You take your new switch, and it goes in, feed it in from the side showing the magnets. And you just kind of screw it in there. And if you get it kind of crooked, so I'll show you. If you get it kind of crooked when you start, don't worry, it'll snap right on. So you can just snap it flat. But yeah, get it in there. And then the distance here should be set at 1/4 of an inch out to the face of this. So from here to there should be 1/4 of an inch. And if you do that, supposedly that's supposed to fit all trucks. So now this switch works by only when you go to, if you wanted to check it to make sure that it's working, put your battery in, and then you have to just put a piece of metal, any metal in front of this, steel, not aluminum, but any steel in front of this should turn your light on. If it doesn't, you're going to need to go back through and check all your wire connections because that would be the only reason it's not functioning. Thanks, and I hope this works for you.